Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Chapter number 12, Energy and Respiration. Respiration is a process in living organisms involving the production of energy, typically with the intake of oxygen and the release of carbon dioxide from the oxidation of complex organic substances. The hydrogen carrier molecules, there are two of these in respiration, NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. This is a coenzyme and this can accept the electrons and hydrogen and become reduced. FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide, it is derived from the vitamin B12. The types of respiration, there are two types of respiration, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, again there are kinds, alcoholic fermentation and lactic acid fermentation. There are two pathways, ethanol pathways and lactate pathways. In the ethanol pathway, that is the alcohol fermentation, it occurs in yeast and glucose is converted into pyruvate and pyruvate is converted into the ethanol and 2 ATP are produced. And in lactate pathway, glucose is converted into 2-pyruvate that is converted with no intermediate product, and the pyruvate accepts the electrons from the NADH, it forms a lactate. 2 ATP are formed. The difference between the two kinds of respiration is, in the aerobic respiration, it occurs in all the living cells of higher organisms, and anaerobic respiration occurs in yeast and some bacteria. Aerobic respiration requires oxygen for breaking the respiratory substrate, and in anaerobic respiration, oxygen is not required for breaking the respiratory substrate. Aerobic respiration, the end products are carbon dioxide. Anaerobic respiration, end products are ethanol or alcohol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid. Aerobic respiration, oxidation of one molecule of glucose produces 36 ATP molecules. Anaerobic respiration, only 2 ATP molecules are produced. Aerobic respiration consists of 4 stages: glycolysis, link reaction, TCA cycle, and electron transport chain. Anaerobic respiration consists of 2 stages: glycolysis and fermentation. Aerobic respiration occurs in cytoplasm and mitochondria. Anaerobic respiration occurs only in the cytoplasm. The structure of mitochondria, as we have done before, that it contains the outer smooth membrane, the inner folded membrane that is called crista, and the crista increases the surface area for oxidative phosphorylation. Phosphorylation is the formation of ATP, and the inner membrane contains the carrier molecules for the electron transport chain and ATP synthase for chemiosmosis, and the space between the two, the inner and outer membranes, are the reservoirs for the hydrogen ions, which is necessary for the chemiosmosis. So mitochondria, large granular or filamentous organelles, and they are in the cytoplasm of animal and plant cells. So they contain a large battery of enzymes and coenzymes in them, and it slowly releases the energy from the glucose molecules, and the energy is transferred to the chemical bonds of ATP, and these are the powerhouses of the cell. Now, 3 stages of the respiration. Number 1 is the glycolysis. It occurs in cytosol, the citric acid cycle, in the matrix of the mitochondria, and the oxidative phosphorylation, electron transport chain, and chemiosmosis occurs in the crista of the mitochondria. These are the locations. The glycolytic pathway is obvious. Glycolysis, in which the glucose is converted into pyruvate. Pyruvate oxidation, that is the link reaction in which the pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme. Next one is a citric acid cycle, in which the acetyl coenzyme is going to moving towards the oxidative phosphorylation. So we are going to focus each step. Number one is the glycolysis. So we are going to discuss, this is the breakdown of the glucose up to the formation of the pyruvic acid, and product is the pyruvic acid. It occurs in the cytosol, and it occurs both in absence of oxygen and in presence of oxygen. And the end product in both condition is the pyruvic acid. And the breakdown of glucose takes place in a series of steps, and each step is catalyzed by the specific enzyme, and all these enzymes are present in the cytosol. And in addition to the enzymes, ATP and coenzyme and AD are also essential. So it has actually two phases. In first phase, that is called the preparatory phase, and the next one is the oxidative phase. So the first phase, starting from this, that is the number one is the formation of glucose 6-phosphate from glucose, and the first step in the glycolysis is the transfer of a phosphate group from the ATP to the glucose. As a result, the glucose 6-phosphate is formed. In the next step, glucose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6-biphosphate. Again, that is the isomer, and with the help of enzyme, and again the ATP gives the phosphate. Then the formation of another molecules with the help of enzyme. The fructose 1,6-biphosphate is divided into two molecules. One is the phosphoglyceraldehyde, and the other is the dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Here are the two structures. And after this, the each molecule has 3 carbon atoms, and these two molecules are isomers, and they can be interconverted by an enzyme of glycolysis. And however, the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate takes part in further reactions. So from the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, the 1,3-biphosphoglycerate is formed, and again by releasing one phosphate, and this phosphate is transferred towards the ADP to form the ATP. So again, the 3-phosphoglycerate is again shifted towards the 2-phosphoglycerate, and then from 2-phosphoglycerate a molecule of water is eliminated, and it will form the phosphoenol pyruvate. Now again, the phosphoenol pyruvate then gives its high energy phosphate to ADP, and as a result, the ADP is converted into the ATP, and the product form is the pyruvate, which is the end product. And pyruvate is equivalent to half glucose molecule that has been oxidized by losing 2 hydrogen atoms. This is the whole process of the glycolysis, in which the glucose is converted towards the end product that is called the pyruvate. The next one is the link reaction, or pyruvic acid oxidation. So it doesn't enter the towards the Krebs cycle directly. It is first changed into the two carbon molecule, and one carbon is released as the carbon dioxide, that is called a decarboxylation. And acetic acid, when enters the mitochondrion, unites with the coenzyme A to form the acetyl coenzyme A. Here, two more hydrogen atoms are transferred to NAD, as you can see in the picture. The next step is the Krebs cycle, that is the fundamental metabolic pathway in the cellular respiration. It is also called the tricarboxylic acid cycle. It's a cyclic series of chemical reactions in which the acetyl coenzyme is actually oxidized to carbon dioxide and ATP is generated, is called the Krebs cycle. And the whole cycle is also known as the citric acid cycle. Now the mechanism is as follows. Number one is the formation of citrate. So in the first step in the cycle is the union of the acetyl coenzyme with the oxaloacetate to form the citrate, that is actually the sixth carbon compound. That is the sixth carbon compound. It is formed by the combination of acetyl coenzyme and oxaloacetate. Citrate is formed, that is the sixth carbon compound. And in this step, a molecule of coenzyme A is regenerated and one molecule of water is used. Again, the next step is the formation of isocitrate, and again that is the isocitrate, and that is the isomeric form. Then the formation of alpha ketoglutarate, and this is actually formed by the removal of carbon dioxide. And in this type of molecule of NAD is shifted into NADH2, and then the formation of succinate. Actually, this is alpha ketoglutarate undergoes the further oxidation followed by the decarboxylation and addition of water, and the product formed is the succinate, which has one carbon atom and one oxygen atom less. In this step, free energy is released, and which is used to synthesize the ATP molecule. Then is the formation of fumarate, and in next step there is the oxidation of succinate to fumarate. Once again, two hydrogen atoms are removed, and these go to FAD, which is the coenzyme, and as a result, FAD is reduced to FADH2. Then the formation of malate. Actually, a water molecule is added to the fumarate. As a result, fumarate is converted into the malate, and then is the formation of oxaloacetate. So malate is dehydrogenated, and another NAD is reduced to NADH2, and as a result, 4-carbon oxaloacetate is produced, and the cycle is completed. Now this oxaloacetate may now combine with another molecule of acetyl coenzyme, and the whole process is repeated. Again, the next thing is the respiratory chain. So in Krebs cycle, NADH and H ions are produced from NAD, and NADH and H ions are transferred from the hydrogen atom to the respiratory chain, and here electrons are transported in a series of oxidation reduction steps to react ultimately with oxygen. So actually in this regard, the oxidation reduction substances which take part in the respiratory chain are the coenzyme Q, a series of cytochrome enzymes B, C, A, and A3, and the molecular oxygen. Cytochromes are there, which are represented over there, cytochromes, electron transport intermediates. These contain the hemophylated prosthetic group that changes the valency of iron atom, and heme is the same iron containing oxygen carrying pigment group that is in the hemoglobin. So first of all, actually the NADH that is formed in the Krebs cycle is oxidized by the coenzyme Q, and here enough energy is released from the ATP and from ADP and inorganic phosphate. Actually, there are some kind of complexes over there. They are responsible for the movement of hydrogen ion, and also the cytochromes are there, which are responsible for the movement of the electrons. So the coenzyme Q is oxidized by the cytochrome B and C, and so this is oxidized by the cytochrome B and C, and the cytochrome B is oxidized by the cytochrome C in a series of reactions. Q is oxidized by B and C, and again oxidized by C, and here enough energy, free energy is released and to form the ATP and from ADP and inorganic phosphate. The cytochrome C is reduced again, a complex of two enzymes called the cytochrome A and A3, and cytochrome A is oxidized by the oxygen atom, and again the electron arrive at the bottom of the respiratory chain. Oxygen is the most electro actually negative substance and the final acceptor of the electron, and a molecule of uh, water is produced as a result, and addition energy is released to form a third ATP. So the as in the chemiosmosis, the protons are moved from this side to this side along the concentration gradient with the help of enzyme ATP synthase. So this is the electron transport chain, and it is coupled with the oxidative phosphorylation. So the summary of the net ATP yield is as follows. And in glycolysis, 6 to 8 ATP are produced, Krebs cycle, 6 ATP are produced, electron transport chain, 24 ATP are produced. So the net one is the 36 to 38 ATP are produced. The next topic is about the rice plants adaptations, which allow them to grow in the conditions of low oxygen availability. They have the stems and leaves possess with large air spaces, allow oxygen to get through to the roots from the air, and the roots are very shallow, allows them some access to the higher levels of oxygen in the surface water, and the roots able to respire anaerobically, and the production of alcohol and the rice root cells show an unusually high tolerance to the alcohol, able to produce the high levels of the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase. And this is the structure, the transverse section of the stem, and showing the epidermis, and then the vascular bundles, xylem and phloem, and there is the ground tissue and the central parenchyma. There is a space, it is called the parenchyma.